All right, 3-2 game with the Colle. We don't know what the rating is. We're going to play the Colle. So we'll see. Okay, we're going to transpose back into probably a Colle. Although they could bring the bishop out. They could play an anti-Colle. They could bring it here. Okay, so he attacked the center right away. So remember our kind of golden rules, when they attack the center, we play c5. Now, we'll do that here, but interestingly, sometimes now we're threatening to take on c5. So it doesn't really give him time to do that. Okay, so he does that anyway. So when we can take it and hold on to that pawn, we're going to do so. This will be an interesting little thing to look at when we get done. So now we're going to pin that knight so that we can play b4. So we're happy to try to hold on to that pawn. Now he'll probably play there. Okay, he did not play there. So we're just going to hang on to it. We're going to get our bishop here. So let's think. Do we want to rip that off or not? If we take, he takes, we can get our knight on this post and then support it with this. I actually kind of like it. It's, strategically, we don't want to have our pawn blocked like that, I don't think. But I do like that we can get everything developed here, kind of grip that in there, make him weaken his king side if he wants to get rid of that knight. And notice how this bishop kind of sucks. I guess he'll probably keep us from castling now, but so maybe that wasn't the brightest idea. But we're going to be able to get castled now. So now I don't even have to worry about castling. I think I'm going to... He's probably going to reroute this. I want to keep this line open. I will just castle. Question is do we want to play like here and here? Okay, when in doubt, just get all your pieces developed before you move a piece a second time. That's what I'm going to do and try to figure out where to go from here. All right, I'm actually just going to crack this open. Looks a little strange, but... See, now we can bring that sucker out. Can route the knight in like here. Block everything up. We have that extra pawn. This bishop's terrible. If he trades it off, he doesn't have the two bishops anymore. We can use this knight here. Will be better in this close position. And he does that. Just trying to decide if I want to play queen here and then take back. No, I'm going to do this. I don't want him to be able to play d4. So we're just going to come in here and just sit on him. And then we'll try to figure out a way to make progress. So he wants to go here. So we got to decide if we care or if we just ignore his threat. Or if we just play here. I'm actually going to just play here. See, our queen already covers there. And we don't want to spend all our time responding to his threats because our idea is just to start rolling forward and getting a passed pawn. His idea is going to take a little bit of time here to do anything. Be really good if we could get this in and we'll get our passed pawn. It'd be great if he made the mistake and took, and then we would have two connected passed pawns. That's kind of crushing. All right, so if he takes, we're just going to take with our rook. We want to keep everything gummed up over here because we have the advantage down here. See, now we got these beauties there. If he moves, we'll pre-move this. Okay, I was going to say if he didn't, we were going to move our rook up here. Now we're threatening to come in and grab this. A little bit short on time, so we may miss some of the optimal plays, but it's much easier to play ours position. All right, so do I take there? All right, first we'll go here. And then I got to decide if I'm going to take there. Well, if we have checks, we'll take the checks. All right, can he get like a perpetual check? That's the only thing I'm worried about. See, I'm worried about letting him get in and get counterplay. All right, so he wants to see if he can get a perpetual check. I don't think he can. I think I can just run away. Interpose like this. Now he's out of checks and I got this. All right. Guess the ELO. What do you guys think it is? I'm going to guess. Let's look back through here. Let's flip through. All right. So we will go into analysis mode in a second here. But, all right. So he's seen somewhere against like the London and like the D-pawn specials, like the Colle, to play this quick C5. So we just followed our golden rule. And the idea is once we get C3 in, we're threatening to take this pawn and then protect it with B4. And so, like, you can get kind of nasty positions if they get this bishop to G4 in and then can get E5 in. But the idea is our golden rule respond to C5 with C3. And that way, if they were to play here, we can just grab that pawn and hold on to it. And that's what we end up doing. Now, he wants to prevent us from playing B5. So now here, I think, yeah. Was it better for me to actually play knight to E5? That's a question when we look in the analysis. But kind of the brainless way for us to play is we know we still have this pin going on. He's now attacking this pawn. So we can just hang on to it. and then grind out like we did. And usually if you can get your pawn on a3 and your bishop on b2 to protect this rook, then you got that pawn in the bag. And this was a question here. This would be interesting to see, because this will be good for us to know as we play the Colle. Should we have taken here or not? Now, no, he doesn't have any real great spots for that knight. If he comes back, we can, retreat the bishop. So I'm thinking it probably wasn't the best thing to do. But at the same time, I felt, it's going to be hard for him to stop the plan we did in the long run. So that would be a good one to look at the computer. So I would say this player's main mistake was in the opening letting us grab that pawn. Other than that, I'm going to go with 1850. Yeah, 1850, and then we'll do learn from your mistakes, and we'll just do a real brief thing. So let me flip it over here and look at the analysis. All right, we'll see what he was. 1817. 1955 rapid. All right, that sounds about right. From Argentina. All right, let's run a computer analysis on it real quickly. And then we'll do the learn from your mistakes. Kind of zoom down. All right, so actually we played quite well. Except we lost a big advantage in through here. It's not giving us a mistake to learn from, but we obviously did something wrong between move 8 and 11. So let's just turn the computer on. Here we have a 2.1 pawn advantage. That's bigger than I thought. I was thinking a little over a pawn. And let's see. We did a3, but it liked just castling. So I guess he is not threatening to take anything yet. My worry was I wanted to have this pawn protected, but I guess it truly isn't. So there's some nuance to these positions, and that's why if we play them, we'll kind of learn them better. But I wanted to be able to get this here, because I always worry about this move. So my thought was okay, if he plays here, I guess he can't yet because we have this bishop move. But pretend he could play this. The problem is that and if I just make a random move, that's why we had like one tempo to mess with here. But yeah, so he's gonna keep giving us this move. But the gist of it is sometimes they can take and we take back, and they can take. But yeah, that hanging knight kind of saves everything for us here. So I guess because of this fact that we have extra time, I could have just castled, I guess, and gotten fully developed. But it's kind of easy to just play it the way we played it. And here is where we were talking, we were looking. I did think it would think that's an error, and it was. So I guess it likes the idea of just sitting on them, which we probably should have just done. So this is kind of the setup we go for in these. We get our bishop here to protect this, so that if this ever has to recapture, then the rook is protected from this discovery. So, pretty interesting game. Kind of, you can get a lot of this. I wouldn't say this is an easy win because they do get some pressure. But this will happen a lot, and that's why c3 in response to c5. And a lot of times they won't even necessarily recognize a5, and you can just play b4, and then you just kind of sit on them and head towards an end game. So, all right, we'll see what we get next time here.